Hey, Teddy here. I hope y'all had a happy first day of school last week, and I just came back here from seeing An American Tail in theaters. Today I've got some good news and some bad news I have to talk to you guys about. Now, first off, let me start off with the bad news. The bad news is that my personal favorite video game store, Gotham Video Games, sadly closed down. Now, for those who don't know what Gotham Video Games is, it's basically a video game store that's in Central Avenue in Yonkers, New York. Now, what can I say, people, other than I'm a huge gamer myself? When I first heard the news that Gotham Video Games will be closing down, I was, scared. I was feeling sorry for the company. And let me say this, people. Now, say what you guys want about GameStop. Personally, I like Gotham Video Games better. Now, let me explain why I think Gotham Video Games, or should I say, Play and Trade, is way better than GameStop. Now, if you're gonna buy a game at GameStop, the only games that you can buy at GameStop are all just nothing but newer games. However, if you went to Gotham Video Games, or should I say Play and Trade or 8-Bit and Up, or any of those places, you can buy not just new games, but also old games as well. Now, how can I put this? Oh, right. Another another good reason why I like Gotham Video Games better than GameStop is if you're gonna play a particular video game at GameStop, you can only play whatever they already have inside the machines. Like, for example, if you're playing like on Nintendo Wii or Wii U, you would have to play whatever Wii U game is inside there. However, if you're gonna play games through, like, let's just say either an Xbox One, a PlayStation 4, an Xbox 360, or PlayStation 3, you can only play either demos of games or watch trailers of it as well. And another good reason to like Gotham Video Games is, of course, and also if you go to Gotham Video Games, they'll let you play whatever game you like, just as long as they already have it. Well, console games, that is. Well, yeah. Anyways, another good reason to like Gotham Video Games better would be, of course, they've got video game tournaments. And whenever Gotham Video Games, or aka Play and Trading Yonkers, dare have any video game tournaments, they do, however, have this hot dog truck come in called Dobbs Doghouse. And I gotta say, people, that Dobbs Doghouse just has the best hot dogs yet. Yeah, though, they can make hot dogs any way you want them, even if it's in a weirder matter. So anyways, and also, yeah. So, I just want to say this. James, if you're watching this, thank you for all the great times I've had with you when it comes to Gotham Video Games. Without you guys, I would not be able to discover those many existing video games out there, regardless if they're old or new, or whether they be good or bad. So anyways, now that I got that out of the way, here's another piece of bad news I'd like to share with you guys. Actor Dean Jones sadly passed away. Now, if you guys do not know who Dean Jones is, you guys may remember him more in the Herbie movies. Now let me tell you a story I'd like to share with you guys about Herbie. Whether you guys believe it or not, I first knew about Herbie when through Herbie Rides Again. And when I first heard the news that that Disney will be making a new Herbie movie with Herbie Fully Loaded, I was like so excited, and I'm glad that I've already seen it for myself. When when I did get to see Herbie Fully Loaded, I did point out that whenever I see Brick and Mayor appear, I was like, wait, is that John Arbuckle? Yeah, as you guys can tell, Brick and Mayor's in there. He also played John Arbuckle in the live-action Garfield movies. And when I say John Arbuckle, I meant Brick and Mayor, not Thorm Hugh, or whatever, however you pronounce his name is. Anyways, nor is this referring to Wally Wingert. So anyways, now that I got my nice tribute to Gene Jones out of the way, here's also another piece of sad news I have to share with you guys. In case you guys haven't noticed, my former editor, Azuchi Guardian, sadly taken down the great Gamer Boy fan. Now, let me say this. Why, Azuchi Guardian? Why would you take down the great Gamer Boy fan? You have no idea how great the Gamer Boy fan is. See why nobody wants to support you anymore? That's because you act like a 2-year-old, and I'm glad you've stopped bullying me on the internet. So anyways, so yeah, since now I got all the bad news out of the way, let's talk about all the good news I have in mind. And yes, people, this time I've got good news in mind. On a brighter note, the good news is that, how can I put this? Oh, right. The good news is that, well, in case you guys, now, do you guys remember back in June, do you remember earlier this summer when Azuchi Guardian said that Timinator's dead? Well, I do have great news about Tim. Thankfully, Tim is not dead. I actually saw Tim at camp, and I did speak with Tim on what's going on with him as a video maker. Well, apparently, Tim will still be making videos, it's just not under the tyranny of Azuchi Guardian, but instead would work with my good friend, Kyle Picone. Now, for those who don't know who Kyle Picone is, he's an old friend of mine. And yes, people, he was basically the same person who would also be in some videos that I also did under Sparking TV, including a Star Wars co-review, which he and I both did, that's non-canon. Now, here's a piece of trivia that I have to share with you guys about the non-canon Star Wars co-review that I did under Sparking TV. Originally, did you guys know that I was supposed to that Kyle and I were both supposed to review all 6 Star Wars films? However, instead, Mateo decided that he and I would both co-review just the prequels, and that's it. I know it's a shame, considering I know a lot of you prefer the originals, which is understandable, but yeah, and in case if you guys are wondering what's my rating for both Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, well, for Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, I'm definitely going to give it 3 Jewish stars out of 5, whereas for Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, I would give it 4 Jewish stars out of 5. So anyways, he was also in the Oscar Talk video I did under Sparking TV, as well as the Cupcake Wars video that I did get to do at SPARC last year during the Halloween season. Now, in case if you guys haven't seen those videos, I'd highly recommend you go check out some videos I did with Kyle at Sparking TV. The link is down in the description below. Just to warn you guys about the reviews that I would do with Sparking TV, like the Star Wars co-review that I do with Kyle Picone, as well as my New York Comic Con review, as well as my animation look back review, please don't come to think that they're all canon, okay, people? These are non-canon. Just be warned that even if you dare enjoy those videos, just be warned that those 3 reviews I just named are non-canon to casual reviews with bearRimshot, just as so as you guys know. That's for future references. So anyways, and also, Kyle also has his own YouTube page. So, the link to Kyle Picone's YouTube page is also down in the description below as well. So anyways, now if you're somebody who has been reading a lot of my posts on Facebook, you guys may remember him more as the person who would dare go nostalgia criticky with me. In other words, every single time whenever I read good as mine or dare post any wishes on Facebook, all he would do is get nostalgia criticky with me. Like, for example, never mind. So anyways, so yeah, and also, another piece of good news I have to share with you guys is that, my good friend / fellow Epic Battles fan / fellow fan of my YouTube page, Francis Iconetti, whether you guys believe it or not, will be making an Epic Battles video game finally called Epic Battles Card, which in this case it'll come out on the original PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation Portable, PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, Nintendo 64, Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Wii, and Nintendo DS. So, in case if you own any of those systems, just be happy for the fact that Epic Battles Card will be released on all of those systems I just named. So anyways, also, and also, so yeah, before I can go, now remember when I just said earlier in this video about Azuchi Guardian, when I was pointing out based on what he said about Tim? That's also another lie that he also said. However, there have also been other lies he also said. Like, for example, one other lie I forgot to bring up in my last update vlog would be, of course, when he said that all bankers are Jewish. Technically, that's not true. You don't need to be Jewish to legally be a banker. Anybody in any religion can be a banker. Like, for example, Ebenezer Scrooge from A Christmas Carol, despite his love for money, that does not make it, and his hatred for Christmas, that does not make him Jewish. The same can also be said about the Grinch from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Yeah, despite his hatred over Christmas, that does not make the Grinch Jewish either. And then, and also, Scrooge McDuck is also another non-Jewish character, should I say, Goyim character, who loves money. And then, there's this one staff member at my school who pays me a lot, who loves money. However, despite his love for money, that does not make him Jewish either. So, yeah, and also, so yeah, another thing Azuchi Guardian also lied about when he said that all Jews are Israeli. In reality, not all Jews are Israeli. There are Jews who can be born just around anywhere in the entire world. like I'm a Jew that was born in the United States. And my Jewish ancestry only came from the 3 following countries: Poland, Russia, and Romania. However, I do have a grandmother who was, as a Marantal in this case, who was born in Israel, but then when World War II kicked in, this is the moment where she did move to the United States. At least Boston, Massachusetts in this case. And no, people, she did not go to Ellis Island whatsoever. And, yes, so... another thing Azuchi Guardian also lied about when he said that all bronies are gay. Technically, that's not true either. Technically, not all bronies are gay. There are bronies who can be straight like myself. Like, for example, Hewy Toonmore from Hewy's Animated Movie Reviews, despite the fact that he's a brony, that does not necessarily mean he's gay. He's actually straight, whether you believe it or not. If you guys don't believe me, the link to this one interview that Hewy Toonmore did at DeviantArt is down in the description below as well. So anyways, and also, another thing he also lied about will be, of course, when he said that in the Star Wars canon, we have never seen Count Dooku come to Kashyyyk. Well, alright, I guess I could say this, that yeah, Azuchi is right about the fact that in the Star Wars movies, we never got to see Count Dooku come to Kashyyyk. However, that does not mean he never went to Kashyyyk, period. I mean, look, Azuchi, have you heard of what it's called an expanded universe? Yeah, I know, the expanded universe is no longer canon. It's just that, well, however, I can say this, that this was not the first time when getting to play Star Wars Battlefront, Battlefront does not mark the first time that we would ever see Count Dooku come to Kashyyyk. Before Star Wars Battlefront was released, there was also another Star Wars video game that Count Dooku did go to Kashyyyk called Star Wars The Clone Wars. Not to be confused with the computer animated TV show from Cartoon Network and the computer animated movie from 2008, which came out on the PlayStation 2, original Xbox, and the Nintendo GameCube. So anyways, so yeah, and also, did I forget something? Let me think, oh, wait a minute. Hope I didn't forget something else. Nah, I think it's pretty much about all I have to say. Oh, by the way, I think before I go, I'm pretty sure a lot of you people watching this are all wondering what's going on with the fate of the next episode of Casual Reviews with bearRimshot. As of right now, I'm still writing the script, just as so as you guys know. So, by the way, in case you guys are wondering what the humor would be like for the next episode of Casual Reviews with bearRimshot, the jokes will be clean. And when I say clean, I meant like animation look back clean. Now, if you guys still think that he always swears in his videos, I'm definitely going to show you guys just one more video where AniMat would never, that can easily prove to you guys that AniMat would never use a single swear word in his videos whatsoever for the most part. Cartoon Palooza. Oh, here we go.
I'm Joey Today. We got needs. Evil corporation, literally called evil, is behind the corporation for their own nefarious needs.
Sorry,
It
guys.
turns into Lost World.
Sorry about that.
The crappy sequel to Jurassic features in monster movies like Mighty Joe Young or Jurassic Park. However, when Sam Sparks realizes that the animals might not try to escape or destroy the world, while realizing the evil corporation, literally called evil, is behind the captivity for their own nefarious needs, it turns into the Lost World. Yeah, the crappy sequel to Jurassic Park with the pro-hippie anti-corporation bullcrap. This is serving as a reasonable parody for the film. No, I can't resist. My anger is flowing. Yes, let me have your rage. Oh, come on. You're not even impersonating the right character. You're doing the villain from Dungeons and Dragons the movie. So? Who the hell has even seen Dungeons and Dragons the movie? So back to the film. When Flint realizes that his idol was just trying to use him for his invention, and that he's better off not having friends as opposed to people he could use for a means to an end, kind of like the last film, he realizes the Foodimals are worth saving and defeats Chester. Does it make sense that the animals that have taken over the island for the people have called home for years are still fine to go about taking it over? Or the fact that the original plan consisted of Chester using what the food animals were originally used for? Food? Nah, at least we learned that Flint has friends both old and new. Isn't that just lovely? So tell me, Joey, does the anger compel you to join me in the dark side of criticism? Are you kidding? I still enjoyed this movie. What? Okay, so it rehashes a lot of the same things from the first film. The plot has more holes than Swiss cheese, and it's definitely not an adaptation of the actual Cloudy sequel. But at the end of the day, it manages to be an entertaining sequel to a movie while trying new things. The movie does improve in certain areas where the plot and secondary characters are lacking. The animation is an obvious improvement, adding to the comedic timing and expressions. Even small things from the first film that carry themselves into the second one, like the gag where Earl's chest hairs tingle when trouble is near. Even some witty jokes like this.
Can I say something?
Apparently you can. While most of the characters keep their off-kilter, likable personalities, Flint's dad seems to be affected the most. I think since his character arc was resolved in the first film, it leaves us with the least interesting character in the movie. Which is a shame since James Caan is a great actor in his own right. I don't feel it was given much, and while I do think they try to connect his story arc with Flint realizing that friendship means more than using people for a means to an end, is not as strong as the miscommunication in the first film. But with that said, you still have some entertaining characters from the first film and some more. Barb the Ape is a combination of things I like, Kristen Shaw's voice and apes. Earl returns, but not with the voice of Mr. T. But rather than making the character a Mr. T impersonation, Terry Crews manages to give life to the character while making it his own, like Michael Gambon did for Dumbledore. So as far as the movie goes, I think there's enough to make it entertaining in its own right. While the story is lacking, it makes up with great humor, great animation, and great characters. I say it's worth it, and give it a watch for yourself.
So, if you're going to give this a positive review, then what the frick am I doing here in the first place?
Oh, what? Oh, yeah. I just needed you for a liaisons dangereux.
Oh, yeah, what the who now? What's going on? No, seriously, dude, what are you doing? Hello?
Not every 24 hours, which would consist of you watching Jonathan from Hotel Transylvania on a loop until you appreciate Sony Pictures animation a little more.
Check it out, I'm a Frankenhole!
Speaking of yeah, that's what you get for giving that movie the seal of garbage. Oh, that reminds me. What's your favorite sequel? comment and let me know. For me, it's a toss-up between The Godfather Part 2 and The Dark Knight. Now I'm Joey Tedesco, and thanks for watching.
Mine's Return to Neverland. Just to let you know, Joey Tedesco.
Say something nice about open season. Just please. Just stop, Joey, please. Stop. What did I do to deserve it?
Well, okay, technically, yeah, there is that, and there...
Oh, God, please, no, no. No, someone, please.
See, people, told you guys that he would never use a single swear word in his videos. Now, which reminds me, before I go, here's something I need to address regarding to AniMat. Now, I noticed that whenever I do talk about AniMat in any way, if you're an older generation watching this, you're probably going to be thinking that I'm talking about some anime, or you guys are probably going to think that I'm talking about some anime, which I'm pretty sure, if you guys are thinking that I'm talking about some anime, you're probably thinking of this one other critic called Mr. Anime. And no, people, to any older generations watching this, if you guys thought I was talking about Mr. Anime instead of AniMat, and no, people, I'm not talking about Mr. Anime. When AniMat makes videos, he doesn't just talk about anime. He does all kinds of animation in general, including hand-drawn, CGI, stop-motion, motion capture. He also does animation found over here in America, as well as in Europe, and so on. And, when you guys do get to know anime more, you guys should also know that he doesn't just do anime. He does all kinds of animation in general. Though he has talked about some anime in his videos. Well, he did, however, do an AniMat reviews videos based on 2 Studio Ghibli films consisting of The Wind Rises and The Secret of World and Ariadne in no particular order. And he also did a classic review of My Neighbor Totoro, which was his first ever episode of AniMat's classic reviews. And then there was the Animatrix, and then he also did he also included Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence in his top 10 best animated sequels, and he did get to include Dragon Ball Evolution in his top 10 worst films based on a cartoon. And coming soon, whether you guys believe it or not, there's going to be an animation look back based on Studio Ghibli. I definitely look forward to learn more about Studio Ghibli. Even though, however, in case you guys are wondering what's the #1 animation, what's an animation studio which I'd love to see an animation look back of, well, Disney Toon Studios I like to see more of, as well as Toon Disney. An animation look back of Toon Disney would be nice, as well as Nickelodeon, as well as adult animation. Yeah, as you guys can tell, whether you guys believe it or not, when AniMat was doing animation look back the best of stop motion, I was praying that he would also talk about Robot Chicken. Now, let me explain. Now, I just wanted to apologize to both AniMat and the rest of and his entire fan base for praying that he would talk about Robot Chicken in animation look back the best of stop motion, and here's why I would do something like that. Well, I just wanted to prove to the entire world that not all movie facts that I know are all based off of kids' movies. Trust me when I say this, people, that goes to you too, Mr. Richard, watching this, that I do know some facts that are from movies that are not made for kids. Like, for example, one fact from a not-so-kid-friendly movie that I didn't know is that when making of Schindler's List began, Steven Spielberg did not intend to direct the film. Instead, would rather use help from someone else to direct the film. Well, Schindler's List, that is, well, yeah. And when I was watching both parts of the Ray Harryhausen segment from Animation Look Back to the Best of Stop Motion, I did, however, get to learn a lot in there, whether you guys believe it or not. So yeah, other interesting facts about AniMat that you guys also need to know will be, of course, one of his most hated movies of all time would go for Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I know, shocking. Considering the fact I know a lot of you people like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, I don't blame you guys at all. I like that movie as well. It's just that the reason why he would ever hate such a film like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and its sequel, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 as well as Hotel Transylvania, it's more of how the over-the-top cartoony humor. And another film that's also considered one of his most hated would be, of course, Shrek the Third. Now, if you're somebody who likes Shrek the Third watching this, apparently you got me who also like Shrek the Third as well. However, the reason why someone like AniMat would ever dare hate such a film like Shrek the Third is more the fact of how, well, Andrew Adamson, the director of the first two Shrek movies, did not have time to direct any of the later Shrek sequels because during that time he was still making the Narnia movies, which is why AniMat hated Shrek the Third. Now, another important thing that you guys need to know about AniMat would be, of course, not only is AniMat a huge animation fan, but also he's a huge Disney fan, as well as a huge Muppets fan, as well as a gamer as well. So speaking of which, another important AniMat fact that you guys also need to know would be, of course, he's a huge. I mean, whenever in a lot of his videos, you will be able to hear lots of video game music. And yeah. So if you guys have not watched any of AniMat's videos yet, I highly recommend you all to go check out Animation Look Back and the Epic Mickey Files. In fact, go check out whichever videos AniMat has got. The link to his YouTube page is also down in the description below as well, since too bad Blip has been closed down already. So, yeah, it's about all I have to say. I hope you all have a happy Labor Day tomorrow, and also Shana Tova to my fellow Jewish viewers.